The Fantasy Fanatics Podcast on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Ryan Risky.
We're going to do our NFL Week 16 picks right now. Let me cue up the music. We can all hear that. Nice. Let's recap NFL Week 15. I ended up winning with 13 correct picks. Ryan Risky had 10 correct picks.
Man, had a bad week.
And it was funny because you started off really good. You beat me in a couple picks down the stretch, but I got...
I had to pick the Bears last week, even though I knew they were going to lose.
Right, yeah. I picked New Orleans there. I picked the Jets over the Titans, and I picked the Bengals over the Browns. That's
Who
how
won the Jets game?
The Jets won. It was some weird score, like 16-11 or something like that. It was something very screwed up. Here, I'm going to check that real quick. I'm pretty sure it was like 16-11.
So both teams had like a number you almost never see.
Right. I think there was a couple safeties in that game. Let's take a look and see. Yeah, 16-11. The Jets are, at the end of the first quarter, the Titans led 3-0. And then the second quarter, the Jets got a field goal, the Titans got a safety.
So it was 5-3 at halftime.
It was 5-3 at halftime.
Man.
And then in the third quarter, looks like the Jets scored a touchdown and the Titans had 2 field goals. And then in the fourth quarter, the Jets pulled away with 2 more field goals of their own. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's really funny.
That must have been a boring game to watch.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I'm glad it was not televised.
Around here.
Yeah, at least around here. I mean, unfortunately, it was televised in those local markets. But, yeah, so I won 13-10. So if you're looking at the whole stats, I am 6-7-1 this year, and Ryan Risky is 7-6-1. So if I win this week, then we are tied going into the final week, which is very exciting.
So we tied 1 week.
Yes, we tied 1 week. I believe we tied with, I think, 10 picks or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be really exciting because we started this week 2 for some reason. I think we did our week 1 picks, but I can't find them anywhere, and I've forgotten them. So I'm just going to forget about that.
I know week 2 was the week that I dominated.
Week 2, I think you picked 14 out of 16.
Yeah, I only got 2 wrong. I know the 2 that I got wrong, I know which ones I got wrong.
Right.
So I'll pull those up later on.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we all picked Jacksonville yesterday.
Yes, we both did. We both picked Jacksonville. So we both have at least 1 point going to Saturday, because there's 2 games Saturday. We got Philadelphia at Washington for Saturday.
Philadelphia, definitely Philadelphia.
I'm going Philadelphia as well. That's a pretty easy pick. Just pretty much, I mean, there's not much to say. I think the Eagles' defense will probably dominate this game. I don't really think they need a whole lot of offense to pull this out.
No, especially when that defense, then special teams usually sets them up in good field position or usually scores a touchdown or 2 a game.
Right. The other game Saturday is San Diego at San Francisco.
I'm going with the Chargers. My guy Phillip Rivers is going to try to get his team into the playoffs.
And I am going with San Francisco in an upset here. If San Francisco wins, they'll have the same record. Not that it matters because they're in different leagues. But I'm going with San Francisco. I just think at home, I know that they don't play too well at home or away right now, as they're like at 500. I think they're 7-7. But I just think they're due for a win, and I think San Diego's sort of on a little bit of a slide right now.
They are. Well, don't forget the 49ers did lose to the Bears.
That's true. They did lose to the Bears. But
that's all you need to say to summarize some of these team seasons. You lost to the Bears.
Like, if you lost to the Bears, you're not going to the playoffs.
Like, why is Atlanta going to lose to New Orleans this week and then New Orleans will win the division?
Because they lost to the Bears week 5 or whatever it was.
Yeah, because they lost to the Bears.
Yeah, so I'm going with San Francisco, actually, so we have a difference of opinion there. Now for the Sunday games, Minnesota at Miami.
Miami.
I got to go Miami, too. I just think Tannehill will be able to pick on the Vikings defense that isn't very good. So.
Right, and, well, also Anthony Barr will be out for the Vikings, except that won't have much of an impact on this game. They would have lost anyways, except it might have an impact on the week after because they'll still beat the Bears without their best linebacker.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Baltimore at Houston.
I'm going with Baltimore. That Houston quarterback situation is... I feel bad for them. Their top 3 quarterbacks are all out.
Right. Yeah, they're kind of in a situation that Arizona's in, only Arizona's a way better football team.
Yeah, Thad Lewis and Case Keenum are fighting for the spot in Week 16 while they're still trying to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, they're still fighting. I think they're still in the hunt, although I'm pretty sure if they lose this week, they're out.
Yeah, I don't have too much confidence that they can win with either of those guys starting.
I do like the Houston Texans. I've been sort of a fan of them ever since they started to get pretty good, like in 2008. 2008, 2009, I started to like them a lot. But I'm going to go Baltimore. I just think Joe Flacco is, an established quarterback. He'll be able to win that game.
Right. I mean, I started liking them when they traded for Ryan Mallett, and then they weren't playing him, and then they played him in 2 games. He did really well in 1 game and had a subpar second game, and then he got injured.
Right.
I'm hoping if the Bears do get rid of Cutler, I hope they make a big push for Ryan Mallett.
I'm sure he'd be one of the guys on their radar. All right, speaking of the Bears, we got Detroit at Chicago, Sunday at noon at beautiful Soldier Field.
Wait, there's a Canadian League football game being played at Soldier Field?
It is. It is.
Why does Detroit get to play the Canadian League team?
Because they're Detroit, and we feel sorry for them because their city sucks.
Yeah, well, Detroit's going to win that game pretty easily. I'm sure the Canadian Football League will want Mark Trestman's head after this game.
I'm glad you're finally not going to pick the Bears, so that's good. I'm going with Detroit as well. That defense is going to eat up Jimmy Clausen, and I think I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I think Jimmy Clausen's going to get hurt, and Cutler's going to have to come in.
See, the benching of Jay Cutler might not be the worst thing for the Bears, because what if it's a wake-up call for him that he needs to play better, and he's not guaranteed to play every game if he's going to play bad, so maybe it's a wake-up call and he'll play better.
Yeah, that's a good point. It could happen. Cleveland at Carolina. Carolina's still fighting. Cleveland's pretty much out of it, but who do you think's going to win this game?
See, I think Carolina will win, except this is a tough game because Carolina's playing to lose because they want to draft Amari Cooper to give Cam Newton another big target.
Right. Like, I wonder if they even think they have a chance to win this division. I mean, they still have a chance, but Atlanta's going to have to beat New Orleans in order for that to happen.
I mean, I think they're better off just kind of trying to draft Amari Cooper. So, I mean, it's tough to pick the Browns when Johnny Manziel's starting.
Right. That's pretty much the reason why I'm going with Carolina, and we don't know about Cam Newton. I'm pretty sure he's out.
He's probable.
Yeah, he's probable. But I mean, even if he's in there, I don't know how effective he's going to be. I still like him over Manziel.
Yeah, why is he playing? He had like 2 stress fractures in his back. And
is he just going to walk out there, just throw the ball very gingerly for a 5-yard pass every time? I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. I'm still going to take the Panthers.
Right. I mean, and another thing is your season's lost. Your team's not even good if you somehow make the playoffs and win that division. You're better off trying to get Amari Cooper because Cam Newton needs another receiver.
So you're going with the Panthers?
Yeah.
Still? Okay.
Even though they're playing to lose, I still think
exactly.
Johnny Manziel's going to play so bad.
We got Atlanta at New Orleans. This is the big game of the NFC South.
New Orleans is going to win, and they'll win the division only because Atlanta did lose to the Bears.
Yes, I'm going to go sort of with that same reasoning too. And New Orleans beat the Bears last week, and I think maybe that sort of kickstarted them, and I think they might win these last 2 games and finish 8-8, which is sort of an okay thing considering they were definitely not doing too well earlier in the season. So.
Right, and no team that lost to the Bears this season deserves to make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Green Bay at Tampa Bay.
It'll be a nice... Aaron Rodgers will probably give Lovie Smith a good, nice homecoming present for the good old days of Aaron Rodgers tearing up Lovie. Except the funny thing is, Aaron Rodgers never put up 30 points against Lovie Smith's defense.
Yeah, that's true. I think, Tampa Bay might be able to scheme somewhat against the Packers, but I still think the Packers are going to win, especially after that bad loss to the Buffalo Bills. I don't think they're going to have another loss like that. So.
Right. I mean, I think the most points Aaron Rodgers put up against Lovie Smith's defense is 27 points, and I think one of those was a defensive or special teams. It was a defensive touchdown.
Kansas City at Pittsburgh. This is a big game for both teams. If Kansas City wins, they'll have the same record. Pittsburgh's still fighting for the AFC North crown.
I think Pittsburgh's going to win this game. They want to win that division. Big Ben is coming off a no-touchdown game, and him and Antonio Brown are going to hook up.
I agree with that, too. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City won in the slightest, I'm still going to take the Steelers just because I think they're a pretty good home team, and I think they're going to be able to beat Kansas City. If Kansas City loses this game, that'll really hurt them. I think they'll still be in the hunt, but you got teams like the Bills that are right down their neck, and Miami and stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. New England at the Jets.
The Jets. I don't think it'll be a blowout. And by definition of blowout, I think it'll be at least a 2-score game. So I don't think that'll be a complete blowout considering how bad the Jets are, because Rex Ryan usually has a decent game plan against Tom Brady where he won't tear him up for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns like Mark Trestman against Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and we remember earlier in the season, the Jets had a chance to beat the Patriots, only that field goal was blocked. So
right.
Yeah. So it could be a close game, but of course we're both going with New England. The Giants at St. Louis. St. Louis has one more win than the Giants.
I think I'm going to go with St. Louis. Eli Manning's offensive line is bad, and that St. Louis defensive line is really stepping up recently.
St. Louis could be a very good team next year if Sam Bradford can stay healthy and be what a lot of people expect him to be, which is a pretty good quarterback. So I'm also going with St. Louis. St. Louis's defense will be able to get to Eli Manning, I think, who's not having a very good year. His time might be done pretty soon. The Buffalo Bills go to Oakland to play the Raiders.
Buffalo. The only team that I would pick to lose to the Raiders is the Bears.
That would be a hell of a matchup right there. The Bears in Oakland.
And then the Bears would lose. Derek Carr would throw for 350 yards, and the Bears would give up 40 points.
Jay Cutler would throw an interception at the end, trying to get the team back into it, like he did against New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Mark Trestman would go and... I forgot to after his press conference against the Green Bay game that they got clobbered on Sunday Night Football, you know what Mark Trestman said? One of the dumb things he said?
What did he say?
He didn't understand why they keep getting blown out when they have such great weeks of practice.
Oh, he said that practice thing again, where he thought that the practice is really good, so... Well, our practices are good. We should have done good in the game. Well, the game's 100 times different than practice.
Yeah, I remember I was looking for the audio, trying to find that clip of him when he almost started to cry. I couldn't find it, except I found a different clip after that game, and he said, I don't understand how we keep getting blown out because we keep having such great weeks of practice.
Yeah, that should be something. I don't know what to think about that.
It sounds like the Bears... A good practice to Mark Trestman is really, in the eyes of a normal football person, is a bad practice.
Yeah. To recap, we only have a difference of opinion on one game. That's San Diego at San Francisco. We have 3 games left to pick.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. We've got the Colts at the Cowboys.
I'm going with the Colts.
I'm going with the Colts, too, just because Andrew Luck's on my fantasy team. I have Dwayne Allen as my tight end. I have Adam Vinatieri as my kicker. I sort of have a Colts core on my fantasy team, so I'm going to go with the Colts.
Did you know Adam Vinatieri hasn't missed a field goal this year? He's perfect.
I did know that. That's why I'm very happy, because he's on my team. He's made some long ones, too. I think he hit a 53-yard one earlier in the year, which is pretty good for somebody who's like 42 years old. So.
Yeah, I just want the Cowboys to lose. I just can't stand the Cowboys
and
or Cowboys
all
fans.
4 of the Cowboys' losses have come at home. So, there you go. And they're going to be home now, too, so I think they're going to get their 5th loss there at home. The Sunday night game, Seattle at Arizona.
I'm going with Seattle.
Here's where we have a difference of opinion. I'm going with Arizona. They have not lost a game at home. I'm 99% sure they haven't lost a game at home.
Until this week.
Yes, until possibly this week. I understand that Seattle's really on a roll now, and they're starting to get things together like the Super Bowl champs that they are, but... I'm going to go still with the Cardinals. I just think their defense will be able to put up one more play against them and maybe get a couple interceptions thrown from Russell Wilson. So I'm going with Arizona. Now the Monday night game, we got Denver at Cincinnati, which is a big game for Cincinnati.
Denver.
I'm going to go Denver, too, and that'll keep that AFC North tight. But, I'm going with the Broncos. They'll finally get it together this week and have a high-scoring week, I'm thinking.
Yeah, just like how Tom Brady came off a really bad performance and then dominated the Bengals on Sunday Night Football. Peyton Manning's going to do the same thing, coming off a horrible out.